All right, let's dive deep into crypto marketing today.
Sounds good.
We're going to be dissecting a campaign that I think you sent to me, actually.
Yeah.
About BlockDAG and this LRNCH 300 update they have.
Uh-huh.
And I think you want to understand not just like what they're saying, but why they're saying it.
Right.
Like how this is all designed to sort of work on us, you know, potential investors.
Yeah. And it's a smart move on your part to kind of look beyond the surface.
Okay.
Because the crypto world is full of these like flashy campaigns.
Right.
But taking a deep dive like this is going to help you really understand the tactics they're using.
Yeah.
So you can make smarter decisions, more informed decisions.
Exactly. And I think this one's a good one to pick apart because they're really hitting hard with some stuff.
For sure.
So first things first, the promotional script you sent over, like practically screams urgency, right?
Oh, yeah.
Time is ticking. 4 days left. Like,
oh, yeah.
It's like they're trying to give us a heart attack or something.
Well, they're definitely playing on that classic fear of missing out.
Right.
That FOMO. Right.
Right.
But what's interesting here is they're combining that like time pressure with the promise of exclusivity.
Uh-huh.
So it's not just that you might miss out on potential gains.
Right.
It's that you might miss out on being part of this select group.
Yeah.
These early adopters who got in on the ground floor.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
That's like a VIP club almost.
Right, yeah. It's like they're creating a VIP club within the BlockDAG community or something.
Exactly.
But honestly, isn't this kind of language a bit, I don't know, aggressive?
It can be, yeah.
Could it backfire at all?
It's a gamble, for sure. I mean, if it comes off as too pushy, people might feel manipulated, you know?
Yeah.
But I think it's a calculated risk, right?
Right.
They're betting that the excitement of LNCH 300 itself, and then this like feeling of exclusivity will outweigh any potential skepticism people might have.
Okay.
So,
so we've got the time pressure, we've got the exclusivity angle, and then they hit us with the visuals.
Of course.
Talking about like futuristic graphics and wallet animations, like it's very interesting.
I mean, visuals are incredibly powerful, especially in a space like crypto, where the technology itself can be kind of abstract and hard to really grasp, you know?
Yeah.
You mentioned wallet animations, right?
Yeah.
Like visualizing those potential gains,
right?
Seeing your digital wallet filling up, like it really plays on that kind of like desire that we have for tangible results, that instant gratification.
It definitely makes it feel more real.
Yeah.
Like it makes it feel more attainable.
For sure.
But what I'm curious about is this whole like futuristic aspect of it.
Yeah.
What is the goal there? Is it just to look cool, or is there something more strategic at play?
I think it's more than just aesthetics. You know, they're really tapping into the psychology of the crypto investor.
Yeah.
I mean, people who are drawn to crypto are often drawn to innovation. The idea of being on the cutting edge, right?
Right.
And so these futuristic visuals really reinforce that narrative.
Okay.
It's like they're saying, we're not just another cryptocurrency, we're like the future of finance.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they're not just selling an investment, they're selling a vision.
Exactly.
And speaking of selling, they don't shy away from highlighting their past success.
Oh, they don't.
They make a big deal about raising, I think it was $185 million.
Yeah, that's a classic tactic for building credibility.
Right.
But I think it's particularly important in crypto, where trust and transparency are often lacking, right?
Right.
So by showcasing their financial track record, they're basically trying to signal stability and legitimacy.
But isn't there a risk of alienating newcomers who are just getting into crypto?
Potentially.
Like seeing that number, $185 million, it might make people think they've already missed the boat.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
There's always this balancing act when you're crafting a marketing message, right?
Yeah.
You want to appeal to experienced investors, but you also want to attract new ones.
Right.
So they're hoping that the allure of potential gains will outweigh any feelings of being late to the party.
Okay, and to further boost their credibility, I guess, they've partnered with Inter Milan.
That's right.
That's not your average crypto marketing move?
No, it's not.
What's going on there?
It's a brilliant strategy if you think about it.
Okay.
Think about the overlap between like football fans and potential crypto investors. It's huge.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're tapping into this massive pre-existing audience that might not even be actively engaged in the crypto world yet.
It's like a shortcut to mainstream acceptance almost.
It is.
Instead of trying to convince the crypto-savvy crowd, they're just going straight for the football fans.
Yeah.
And using Inter Milan's brand recognition as like a stamp of approval. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense.
And it's not just about reach, right? It's about association.
Yeah, okay.
Inter Milan has this reputation for success being at the top of their game, right?
Right, yeah.
And that association kind of rubs off on BlockDAG.
Okay.
Lends them this air of legitimacy and prestige.
So they're targeting new investors with this Inter Milan partnership.
Yeah.
But they haven't forgotten about the folks who've already invested in BlockDAG.
Right.
There's a lot of emphasis on rewarding early investors.
For sure.
And I think they even say offering to like triple your holdings.
Yep. That's crucial in the crypto world.
Right.
You have to cultivate this loyal community of early adopters.
Yeah.
And they become these advocates, these evangelists for the project.
But I'm a little skeptical of this triple your holdings claim.
Understandably so.
It sounds a bit too good to be true, doesn't it?
It's certainly a bold promise.
Yeah.
And it definitely raises some questions about it. Have they provided any evidence to back up this claim? Is it based on realistic projections?
Yeah.
Or just hype?
Right.
These are things you'll want to investigate further before making any decisions.
Good point.
Yeah.
It's important to look beyond the marketing and do your own due diligence.
Absolutely.
But before we get too deep into that, let's take a closer look at how they're actually framing this whole LIUNC 300 update.
Okay.
They're throwing around these terms like enhanced functionality,
right,
improved scalability.
Yeah.
But what does it all actually mean?
That's where things get interesting.
Oh.
They're using these buzzwords to create a sense of excitement, anticipation.
Okay.
But they're being deliberately vague on the specifics.
So they're relying on the hype.
Yeah.
The mystique of this big revolutionary update without actually explaining what it entails.
Exactly.
That seems a bit risky.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's a strategy that can backfire if they don't deliver on their promises.
Right.
But in the fast-paced world of crypto, sometimes a bit of mystery can be a really powerful marketing tool.
All right, I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
You have.
But I feel like we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
We've got FOMO, futuristic visuals, celebrity partnerships, promises of massive returns.
That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack.
Definitely.
So I think let's take a quick pause here.
Sounds good.
And when we come back, we'll kind of dissect the technical side of this LMCH 300 thing.
Let's do it.
All right, don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Okay, so let's try to unpack this whole LNCH 300 update a bit more.
Okay.
They keep saying enhanced functionality, improved scalability.
Right.
But I'm still a bit fuzzy on what that actually means.
Yeah.
You know, for someone like me.
Yeah.
Who's not a crypto expert.
It's easy to get lost in the jargon.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's try to translate those buzzwords into something a bit more concrete.
Okay.
So when they say enhanced functionality, they're basically saying that they're adding new features and capabilities to the BlockDAG platform. Right?
Think of it like an app update on your phone, but for a cryptocurrency.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about improved scalability?
Yeah.
That's one I hear thrown around a lot.
All the time.
In the crypto world, but I'm not really sure I fully understand it.
It's a crucial concept in crypto.
Okay.
Especially for a platform that aims to be like widely adopted.
Okay.
So imagine a highway with only one lane.
Okay.
Right? As more and more cars get on that highway, traffic slows down, transactions take longer, it becomes less efficient.
Right.
So scalability is about widening that highway.
Okay.
Allowing more transactions to happen simultaneously without slowing things down.
So if BlockDAG is improving its scalability, it means they're aiming to handle more transactions faster.
Exactly.
More efficiently.
More efficiently, yeah.
But why is that so important?
Right.
What's the benefit for me as a potential investor?
So think about it this way.
Okay.
If BlockDAG can handle more transactions,
it becomes more useful for everyday purchases, right? And that increased utility could drive up demand, potentially increasing the value of your holdings.
Right, okay.
Plus, nobody likes waiting like ages for a transaction to go through.
Right, of course.
So improved scalability could mean faster transaction times and lower fees for everyone.
Okay, yeah, that's starting to click for me.
Good.
So enhanced functionality means new features.
Yep.
Improved scalability means a faster, more efficient platform.
That's right.
But they're still being pretty vague about what those new features actually are.
Right, and that's where the need for skepticism comes in.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
They're highlighting the benefits without getting into the specifics, which could be a red flag. It's like promising a delicious meal, but refusing to tell you what's on the menu.
So how do we kind of separate the hype from the reality.
Yeah.
Is there any way to dig deeper and get a better understanding of what LANCH 300 is really all about?
Absolutely. This is where doing your own research becomes crucial.
Okay.
So you want to look beyond just the marketing materials.
Yeah.
Dive into their white paper, their technical documentation,
Right.
their community forums.
Right.
See if they're actually backing up their claims with technical details and a clear roadmap for the future.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's easy to get swept up in the excitement of this new update and everything.
That's right.
But, we're talking about investments here.
Absolutely.
We need to be making informed decisions based on facts.
Facts, not feelings.
Right, not just marketing promises.
Exactly.
And speaking of needing to maybe be a little skeptical, let's revisit that Inter Milan partnership for a second.
Okay.
On the surface, brilliant move.
It seems that way.
But is there a potential downside here?
That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
I hadn't really considered that.
What kind of downside are you thinking of?
Well, think about their target audience.
No.
On the one hand,
Yeah.
they're trying to attract these mainstream users
Right.
with this high-profile partnership.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, they're super heavily emphasizing early investors, the potential for these massive returns,
Right.
which could alienate those same mainstream users.
So it's almost like they're trying to appeal to two very different demographics
They are
at the same time.
It's a tricky balance.
Yeah, could that create a disconnect?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the football fans they're attracting with Inter Milan, they might not be as interested in the high-risk, high-reward aspects of crypto.
Right, they might be looking for something a little more,
Exactly.
stable, long-term.
Yeah, more of a slow and steady kind of investment.
Right.
Maybe.
So while the partnership expands their reach, it could also dilute their message a little bit.
It could.
They need to be careful not to alienate one audience while trying to attract another.
It's a tightrope walk for sure.
Okay.
It's all about understanding the nuances of each audience.
Right.
And tailoring your message accordingly.
Okay. And speaking of messaging,
Yes.
they're putting a lot of emphasis on rewarding those early investors.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
It's interesting.
And on the one hand, I get it. You want to build a loyal community
Of course.
of early adopters. You want to make them feel special.
Yeah, you want them to feel valued.
But it feels a bit like they're creating a two-tiered system
Potentially.
where those who got in early get preferential treatment.
It's a common tactic in the crypto world.
Yeah.
But it's not without its critics.
Okay.
Some argue that it creates an unfair advantage.
Right.
That it can even lead to price manipulation.
Yeah. I can see how that could be a problem.
Yeah.
It's like this exclusive club where only the members get to reap the rewards.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
But let's be honest, that whole triple your holdings promise is pretty tempting.
It's definitely a powerful motivator.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But it's important to remember that kind of language is designed to trigger our emotions to make us act impulsively.
So what's the takeaway here? How do we navigate this whole world of hype and these big promises and make smart, rational decisions?
Well, I think the key is to be aware of the tactics being used.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And to do your own research. Don't just fall for the flashy marketing.
Right.
Look deeper. Understand the technology.
Yeah.
Assess the risks.
Right.
Make informed choices based on facts, not emotions.
That's great advice. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of the crypto world and forget that it is still an investment.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, it's still an investment. And like any investment, there are risks involved.
And speaking of risks, we haven't really touched on the potential downsides.
That's true.
Of this LINCH 300.
Yeah.
Every update comes with its own set of challenges and unknowns.
For sure.
What could go wrong here?
Right.
What are the potential risks that investors need to be aware of?
Let's get into that.
We've talked about the good stuff with the LANCH 300, right?
Yeah.
Like the new features, the scalability, all that.
Yeah.
But every rose has its thorns, right? Anything could go wrong too. What could go wrong here?
Yeah.
What are the potential downsides we need to think about?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
It's one that often gets overlooked in all the excitement, right?
Yeah.
When there's a new update.
Yeah.
Because we're dealing with cutting-edge technology, and that comes with risk.
Okay, so let's get specific.
Okay.
What are some potential pitfalls of LUMCH 300?
Well, for starters, there's always the chance of technical glitches.
Okay.
Anytime you make changes to a system this complex, right?
Right.
Something could go wrong.
Yeah.
You've seen it in tech, software bugs, vulnerabilities, downtime, all that.
Yeah. So even with the best intentions, things could go sideways with this LA WinCH 300 rollout.
It's possible.
And what would that mean for investors?
I mean, it could mean a range of things.
Okay.
Depending on how bad the issue is.
Yeah.
It could be small, just some slowdowns, or it could be big, like transactions stop completely.
Right.
And we know how volatile crypto is.
Yeah.
Any disruption can really affect the price.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I imagine these technical risks, they're even bigger because BlockDAG is still a pretty new platform.
Yeah, for sure. Newer platforms haven't been tested as much.
Right.
In the real world, right. They might not have the same security. An older platform.
So there's that unknown factor, right?
Yeah, there is.
With this newer technology.
Absolutely, yeah.
But technical glitches aren't the only risk, right?
No, definitely not.
What else?
There are strategic risks, too.
Okay.
For example, we've talked about scalability being a big goal with LNCH 300, right?
Right.
But what if they don't actually improve it enough?
Yeah.
What if the platform can't handle a lot of transactions?
That would be the big setback, right?
Huge setback.
Undermines their whole argument.
Exactly.
Investors wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, confidence would go down.
And then what about the competition?
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Right.
Like crypto's changing all the time.
Yeah.
New platforms all the time.
New stuff popping up every day.
What if someone comes up with something better?
Right, exactly.
That makes LIUNCH 300 look old.
Makes it obsolete.
It's a tough world out there.
They can't rest on their laurels.
That's why you got to look past the hype with any crypto project, really.
Right.
Is it innovative? Adaptable?
Okay.
Do they have a good team? A plan for the future?
It's about the big picture.
Yeah.
Not just getting caught up in the moment.
Absolutely.
Speaking of getting caught up, they're really pushing engagement with this LNCH 300 thing. We've talked about their calls to action.
Yeah.
But let's get into that.
Okay.
What are they doing that's working so well?
Well, they're not being subtle.
Right.
It's clear, direct language, like join the revolution, trying to make you feel like you gotta act now or you'll miss out.
That FOMO again.
It's powerful.
It is powerful.
But they're also doing something else that's smart.
What's that?
It's not just a technical update.
Okay.
It's a movement, a community, you know?
Right. Be part of something bigger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People want that
Makes sense.
connection, belonging.
Not just the money.
It's about the tribe.
Yeah.
Those who believe in BlockDAG.
Really powerful stuff.
And the visuals add to it.
Yeah.
The graphics, the wallet animations, people celebrating. It's all very intentional.
It is. It is.
Visuals get you emotionally.
Yeah.
More than just logic.
You bypass the rational mind.
You go right for the gut.
So they're really hitting on all fronts. Logic, emotion, and that FOMO.
It's a strong mix.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind with crypto.
Absolutely.
Marketing wants to persuade you. Understanding the tactics helps you make better decisions.
Decisions that make sense for you.
For your goals, for your risk level.
That's a great point to wrap up on.
Yeah.
This whole deep dive's been really eye-opening.
I agree.
We went way past the surface of LENCH 300, right?
We did.
The psychology, the tech, the strategy, everything.
All of it.
It's been great breaking this all down with you.
Likewise, I love getting into these campaigns.
Me too.
And seeing what's really going on.
Yeah, getting past the hype.
Exactly.
But now it's your turn, listener.
Yeah.
We've given you a lot to think about.
We have.
The good, the bad, the marketing, everything.
All the angles?
No, do your own research, right?
Absolutely.
Make the decision that's best for you.
Informed decisions.
Knowledge is power, like they say.
It really is.
The more you know about crypto, the better you'll be at navigating it all.
All the ups and downs.
Making those informed choices. Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep learning.
Keep questioning.
Keep diving deep.